Well, the Avowed saga is going about the way you'd expect, with their community moderation team moderating everybody who doesn't agree with their nonsense. This is exactly what happens with these woke companies. We saw it with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where people were getting banned for transgender phobic and homophobic and whatever phobic responses on that community page there. And of course, the Avowed are going further, banning users for engaging in anti-DEI practices. Wow, you can't get more censorious than this. And this has been avowed the entire time. The people involved in this game are the wokest of the woke. This is coming from Microsoft trying to corrupt you through a fantasy game. That is a terrible failure, despite them saying it's going well because it's on Game Pass. It's not. And this is more indication that they know they've lost the community, they've lost the script, and they have to silence anybody who's dissenting. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in gaming. There's a reason we're the most trusted name in gaming news here. We'll call it like it is, where other people will not. They always just do what they do for clout. We never do. We always just tell you our unfiltered opinion. And I appreciate you guys for being here and covering fantasy RPGs like Avowed. I'm writing my own fantasy story. They should have hired me to write the story for Avowed, I think. It's called The Demon's Eye. This is great stuff. This is classic sword and sorcery like they used to have back in the day. You are absolutely going to love this. This is written for you. Strong male lead, just a brooding protagonist who is a reluctant hero who has to fight a great evil. It's in the description below. Check it out, guys, and thank you so much for pre-ordering today. It's coming out in 6 days, so don't miss it. Let's get the pre-order numbers huge so we have a huge launch day. I appreciate you guys for being here. Okay. So, Steam moderators for Obsidian's Avowed are banning users for engaging in anti-DEI practices. Reddit user Silver7777 shared a screenshot to Kotaku in Action 2 subreddit of an individual being banned from the forum, with the reason being user was found engaging in anti-DEI practices, which is not tolerated on this forum. Oh no, they are censoring there. He said, the vast majority of the characters in positions of power and authority are female, much like Dragon Age the Veilguard. Men are all some variation of incompetent, corrupt, or evil, much like Dragon Age the Veilguard, though they can get a pass if they have a unique identity of some description, e.g. racial or sexuality. That is more subtle brand of woke storytelling based on the intersectionality hierarchy. Writers attempted this variety more often after overt preaching failed. The classic recent example of this type of woke was Starfield. In that game, you can immediately tell characters' intentions and their role and subplot by their place in that hierarchy. If you encounter a young female Asian leader, you can depend on her. She is competent, incorruptible, essentially flawless. If you encounter an older white man, then it doesn't matter how nice he seems. He's either got some huge character flaw that the quest will require you to clean up, or he will simply be revealed to be a villain of the subplot. That's exactly what they're doing in all of these games and everything right now. Everybody's saying that woke has died, woke is gone, it's out of the culture. They're doubling down, guys. They've been regrouping. They've been not marketing as hard as they could because they know that the marketing just turns people off. But everything that's coming out right now just has this exact same thing to it. Everything is still a strong female lead. Everything is still pushing the homosexual agenda. Everything still is putting, black replacement characters replacing white people. This is happening all across the board in video gaming, in TV, in comics, all the way. It has not changed whatsoever. None of these people have said they've repented, and they are very. They understand now that the culture didn't want this, and we were wrong. Nobody has said that. You have not heard a single Disney executive say that kind of thing, or any executive from any of these companies. They're all doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. I just saw an advertisement for the new Superman film by James Gunn, the DC Comics film. It's not advertising it with Superman. It's advertising with Mr. Terrific, the black guy, because they want to promote these tertiary characters. And if you look at all of his tertiary characters, they got a hawk girl who's, if you look at the comics, if they're going to follow that, she's a lesbian in it. They are pushing this agenda on every single level with every single product out there. And it's still going very, very hard. We have to remain vigilant. And I saw yesterday that Grum's, Mark Kern, who is the lead developer of World of Warcraft, was calling for unity in this time. And I 100% agree with him. There's a lot of bad actors out there who have been attacking different channels over and over and over again, rather than actually just calling out video games, calling out the culture like they used to. It seems like the content got a little slow the last couple months, which he typically does for January and February, and so these people decided to become drama farmers instead of actually fighting the culture war. In fact, if you listen to them, they say, we never intended to fight the culture war. We just want good games or whatever. That kind of thing needs to stop because these people, the leftists, are still in charge. None of these companies have replaced leftists with anybody on the right. Nobody out there is openly conservative in these institutions. Nothing has changed. Again, I don't understand the narrative that's being pushed right now whatsoever, that woke is dead. I mean, it's just so stupid. I mean, to be honest. Daredevil Born Again is the same thing. They killed off Foggy in the first episode, and then they replaced him with this new Matt Murdock friend who's a black chick. Who was not a black chick in the comics. They turned her black for the role. I mean, it's the same thing going on in everything across the board. And we're like less than a week out of Snow White coming out with Rachel Zegler, the replacement Snow White, who's named Snow White not because she's the fairest of them all, but because she grew up in snow, allegedly. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is where we're at these days, and this is exactly what Avowed has done. I'm sorry, I'll get off my soapbox for a second, but gosh. I mean, it's like I gotta wake everybody up. It seems like people are getting complacent just because Trump won the election, and we can't get complacent. The ride never ends, my friends. So, not only was the user banned, but it appears the entire thread titled, "Can someone explain the sales?" dated February 20th, 2025, based on a Google search, has been completely deleted from the Avowed Steam forums. Not good. Moderators of the Steam forum have also locked a number of threads, banned individuals who have been participating in them within the last 24 hours. So they're getting very aggressive right now to try to sweep for this game. The 3 threads seemingly locked around the time are called Considering Avowed, Start Here, Debunking Myths, Misunderstanding, and Smear Tactics. What is Anti-DEI? And why are developers afraid of criticism? Read the politics of the game. It's really interesting because the politics are forefront of the game, and it's exactly the same thing. I'm on my comic book channel. I'm talking about Tom Brevoort today, who's the editor of X-Men, and when he was asked about why are you putting politics into this so hard, he says the message is the premise, and that's exactly what Avowed is. The message is the premise of Avowed, and they were very naked about this as they went out there and tried to promote this game and started talking about it. They're proud of it, and in fact, they haven't shown any sign that they've been anything but proud of it as this has been going on. In fact, despite the sales looking bad, the Steam numbers looking pretty bad, they called it a success anyway. Even though we know it's not a success, they say it is, and they just want to lie and gaslight over and over and over again. This was the thread that was banned in the What is DEI? Multiple users banned right here. Multiple people. It's hyper-progressive ideology. It's ideology that thinks benign things like being on time, being polite, working to improve your station, property rights, self-reliance, and children having their own rooms are examples of white supremacy. And that's according to the Smithsonian. Yeah, this is actual stuff that they've said before. And they banned people on there. Multiple. Another individual in the thread notes that banning individuals for anti-DEI practices has been going on for weeks. Rorschach wrote, "This has gone viral, and I was here when those bans occurred. And those many threads mentioning anti-DEI practices, the ban reason, I don't even know why you're all surprised. People get banned for anti-woke practices all the time everywhere. The only difference is that most places don't openly admit it and instead use vague terms like disrespectful or inflammatory." So I guess that's the bar now, is that, at least they're open about it. At least they're openly leftist. And that's where we're at. You can be openly leftist at these corporations. Microsoft loves it. They'll clap for you. They will push that agenda even now, even after all of this. They have not changed their ways at Microsoft. They've not changed their ways at Sony. You can't be an open conservative saying, no, I don't want to deal with this and deal with all your political crap. That doesn't work. You'll get fired. And that is still where the culture's at these days. Until we can change that, until we can push back, we really are going to have to just push even harder against this type of thing and against these type of games that are coming out over and over and over again. We covered Intergalactic yesterday. If you don't know what they did with Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and what's going on with the plot line of that game, that is literally an anti-Christian allegory. They are mask off about what they're attempting to do here. You need to go watch that video as well, because this is happening across gaming and across everything, as I keep saying, on this front. So it's going to get worse this year. I don't think it's going to get better. I don't think woke is dead. They're regrouping, and I think they're going to get crazier. because they're so frustrated with what's going on politically right now that they're going to just lash out. You see them burning Teslas now and calling it peaceful protest. This literally just happened last night. Peaceful protest, burning a Tesla. Yeah, it's a fiery but peaceful, right? This is happening again, all over again, and they're more unhinged than ever, and they're going to be lashing out, and they're going to get very dangerous. So stay safe out there, my friends, but keep fighting the good fight. Here's the deal. If we all rise up together, they can't stop us. If we're fighting each other, they are going to just be taking us down one by one, because that's how they always have operated in the past. The SJWs do this. They like to target one person and destroy one at a time, because they know that a person can't fight back individually. If they are overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, they can't fight back, and they know that, and they become cowards at that point. And that's why you don't hear from them for periods of time. The more we push, the more this type of stuff can stop. And this is evil. And of course, banning people for just trying to discuss a game is ridiculous. And avowed moderators should be ashamed of themselves, period. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Whew, got passionate today. Hit the like and subscribe button. And please check out my new book, The Demon's Eye. No DEI in this. You're going to love this, my friends. This is classic fantasy on every single level. This is what the story of Avowed should have been. Pretty simple. Same with Dragon Age. We'll be back soon.